Picture this. In a dim museum, a simple clay prism glints under flickering torchlight. On its surface, an ancient scribe has carved a roll call of kings who ruled for ages beyond belief. It begins with a haunting line. When kingship descended from heaven, the kingship was in Eridu. Tens of thousands of years for a single ruler. The numbers defy belief. Is this history or myth, truth or exaggeration? The answer lies in the Sumerian King List, a 4,000-year-old Mesopotamian chronicle rediscovered in modern times. The first fragment was found by archaeologist Hermann Hilprecht at ancient Nippur, and eventually scholars identified about 18 copies, mostly dating to circa 2000 to 1800 BCE. Each version weaves the same basic tale, an unbroken lineage of rulers stretching from kingship in heaven to the kings of Sumer. What makes the list bizarre are the pre-flood reigns. 8 antediluvian kings who ruled for a total of 241,200 years. Then, almost abruptly, the tablet declares, then the flood swept over. History itself seems reset. How could ancient scribes have recorded such impossibly long lifetimes? That is the mystery we'll explore. The story reads like mythology. It opens at Eridu, the oldest of Sumer's cities. The scribes say that kingship descended from heaven to Eridu. The first rulers are titanic in longevity. Alulim of Eridug reigns 8 Sars, 8 times 3,600 years. That is 28,800 years. And in one copy, even 18 Sars, 67,200 years. Alangar follows with 36,000 years. Next come kings Enmen, Lu-ana, 43,200 years, and Enmen-gal-ana, 28,800 years, and even Dumuzid the shepherd at 36,000 years. Each of these reigns outlasts entire later civilizations. Finally, Ubara Tutu of Shurupak rules 18,600 years. Then the flood swept over. With that line, the antediluvian age ends. After the deluge, kingship re-emerges at Kish, but the scene has changed. Now reign lengths drop into the human realm. The first dynasty of Kish lists 23 rulers with reigns ranging from about 1,500 down to 300 years, totaling to 24,510 years. The king Jusha is credited with 1,200 years, and the tavern-keeper queen Kugbao, nicknamed Lord of All Women, is said to have ruled 100 years. These spans are still prodigious, but the scale has humanized. Over successive dynasties, regnal lengths continue to shrink. Legendary heroes now mingle with history. The epic king Gilgamesh appears with a 126-year reign, and Enmebaragesi of Kish is recorded with 900 years. He and his son Aga even appear in the Epic of Gilgamesh. As the list proceeds, it reads ever more like a conventional chronicle. Sargon of Akkad is mentioned defeating Lugal-Zargsi, and by the Ur-3 period, kings rule decades. Mesh-Anpada 80 years, Meshkiang-Nuna 36 years. In the end, the grand myth has melded into historical record, but archaeology adds perspective. We have dozens of cuneiform tablets from the Ur-3 and later dynasties confirming the kings of that era. Yet none of the antediluvian names are found, except on the king list itself. In fact, scholars flatly conclude that the pre-flood section must be considered fictional. The lifespans are seen as literary or symbolic. Attempts to turn 43,200 years into a plausible reign, say by tweaking the calendar or the sexagesimal math, have never yielded an accepted solution. Most historians today suspect a different motive. The king list was also political propaganda. The most complete copy we have, the Weld Blundell prism from Isin, circa 1800 BCE, was likely commissioned by Isin's kings. By weaving all the city dynasties together into one story, the scribes painted Isin's line as the inheritors of a sacred, divine kingship. As one modern review notes, the SKL's main purpose was not neutral history, but legitimizing dynasties over Babylonia. In that light, the impossibly long reigns serve to magnify the antiquity and grandeur of kingship from when heaven granted rule. The Sumerian King List remains a crossroads of myth and history. Its opening lines stretch our imagination, a direct gift of kingship from heaven and men who lived tens of thousands of years. Yet, its closing lines simply name kings we recognize. Whatever its origins, this clay tablet teaches us how the ancients saw time and power. Their past was a cosmic saga shared by gods and mortals. Perhaps it was never meant to be taken literally. Perhaps it proclaimed that their rulers were part of a divine design. In the end, this tablet is a riddle carved in clay. It raises more questions than answers. Were those antediluvian kings meant as real beings or towering symbols of an era? Was the floodline a factual event or a narrative reset button? Now it's your turn to ponder. What do you think? Was this document meant as strict history or a mythic tapestry to inspire awe? Share your thoughts below. The mystery of these ancient kings endures in these lines. The sands of Mesopotamia may be silent now, but their whisper endures.